Afternoon, guys. Welcome to Mooch's Ways channel. So I'm doing this quick video. I was going to, or I was planning on getting out today for a walk through my wood to see the squirrel population, hopefully take a few out. But unfortunately on Friday my car decided to malfunction on me. So at the moment I'm without a vehicle. That had to be towed away on Friday to a local garage. Obviously due to things being as they are, things are still quite restricted. Some businesses aren't open normal hours, so I'm having to wait till Monday, which is tomorrow, to find out what that's going to set me back. Basically the master clutch cylinder is gone, so they're going to have to replace that. But anyway, so I wasn't actually able to get out this this weekend or today and film anything for you, so I thought I'd bring you a quick video just to tell you that, and actually to show you the gun that when I do get round to doing the video, once I'm back on the road, the gun that I'll be using. So this is my 410. This is what I usually use if I'm going for a walkabout in the woods on the squirrels. It's a single barrel, it's bolt action, Norica, which is a Spanish make. It takes 3 shotgun cartridges, so you put one in the spout, and then you've got a little magazine here that you can push 2 cartridges into. So the way you load it is you, obviously the magazine is loaded not from the bottom. It's not like a bottom push feed magazine. It's you pull the bolt back, and then you have to load the 2 in the magazine first. It can be a bit fiddly, to be honest. 2 in the magazine and then 1 up the spout, and you sort of have to push the cartridge down, the head of the cartridge down, so you can engage the bolt. And then obviously when you fire your first round, you cycle the bolt, spits the round out, automatically feeds the other round. The only thing I found is certain cartridges don't like cycling in this, or sometimes when the cartridge is just fired gets a bit warm, it can sometimes, get stuck. But that's the same with, I've had that with semi-autos and pump action, stuff like that. But not normally, because the bolt will, bring it out quite well. It's a really nice little gun. It's really light. I did have a sling on it, but obviously the sling broke, so I'll replace that at some point. But it's a really nice little gun, and I usually use Eley 4 longs, 12.5 gram, either 6 or at the moment I've got 7 shot. It does the job. I prefer 6 shot, but yeah, 410 is a great little gun for squirrels and rabbits and other small vermin. I've actually done really well with this gun in the past. I've actually, believe it or not, taken out Canada geese on the wing. Not any massive ranges, but I mean, they're coming into a pond. I've shot ducks with this. I've shot pigeons on the wing. I've shot rabbits on the run. So in the right hands, these 410s are handy little guns. Pretty inexpensive as well. I picked this up, I'm going to say I've had this gun for a good 10 years, maybe longer, probably 11, 12 years. I picked this up from a local gun shop, second hand. I think it was around 150 I picked this up for. Picked it up for 150, and they threw in 2 boxes of cartridges with it. Yeah, it's a really nice, handy little gun, and 410s are quite a lot quieter than a 12 bore. So if you're shooting a place where there's houses nearby, or it's a quite sensitive area with footpaths and stuff like that, these guns are a little bit better for that. They still make quite a crack, but not so much as a 12 bore or a 20 bore. You can get silenced 410 shotguns, hush powered. You have to use the subsonic shells with them though for that to work. But I know a lot of people have had, they rave about the hush powers, which I've quite for a long time been thinking of investing in a little Mossberg pump action Hush Power 410. Just because the woodland that I normally shoot is quite a sensitive area, because it actually backs onto the National Trust estate, so you get a lot of walkers in there. And when they hear me fight, because I do use the 12 bores in there as well, but you know, if they hear you firing off a lot of shots in there, most of the walkers they tend not to know that that piece of woodland that I'm shooting in is actually privately owned. They think it's part of the National Trust estate, so what they'll do is they'll go ahead and they'll call the National Trust, and the rangers obviously have to take that seriously, so you end up with the rangers driving around a lot of the time coming in to see me. So you know, we sorted that now. Obviously I'm in contact with the rangers at National Trust, so before I go out I drop the head ranger a text and let him know, you know, because it's pretty much every time I go out they get calls of complaint saying there's somebody illegally shooting in the woods. It just saves everyone time. It saves me time having to stop shooting to talk to them, and them time, you know, from whatever else they're doing, to come out and, you know, drive around to see if it's me. So yeah, these days, you know, with the right to roam and everything, there's a lot more walkers. Even through my woods, my wood has a footpath that runs all the way around it, and that joins onto the National Trust wood. So you get you don't get as many walkers as you do in my part than the National Trust. They do tend to stick to the footpaths quite well. I'd say a good 95% of the walkers I meet in there are absolutely fine. A lot of them are interested, you know. They realise the reason why I have to do what I do, and you know, they'll stop for a general chit chat, and then they'll walk off and continue their walk. I get the odd walker that is dead against it and will shout a bit of abuse at me, but you know, it's getting like that everywhere now, I believe. So that's why I tend to take the 410, just because it's less disturbing than a 12. What I tend to do now is, if I'm going to take the 12 bore in there, I'll do it on a weekday. If I'm free on a weekday and I want to go, you know, flight some pigeons, or you know, really make a dent in the squirrel population, I'll take the 12 bore and have a walk around on a weekday, you know. And I'll usually wait sort of mid-morning, early afternoon, when everyone's buggered off to work, and shoot through to sort of say 4:30, 5 o'clock before everyone finishes work and starts walking their dogs again. So that way it's a lot less hassle. But you know, I am a fan of the 410 shotgun. I've shot this a lot. As I've previously said, I've shot rabbits, I've shot geese, I've shot pigeons. You know, in the right hands, they are a brilliant gun. What I wouldn't say to do is to start somebody who's new to shotguns, like a young shot. I wouldn't say to start them on a 410. Not if you want them to get a confident shot with a shotgun, because I think that a 410 is more of a specialised gun, really, especially if you want to take it seriously and shoot with it. You know, they're all right if you want to get a youngster, you know, to shoot a sitting rabbit or a sitting pigeon. But you know, you have to understand how to use a shotgun. You know, lead, stuff like that, your ranges before you really want to start pushing it with a 410 and start taking on moving targets. And a 410 can be frustrating for somebody who's just starting out, such as a young shot. Obviously, people start them off on a 410 because there's a lot less recoil, and it's a lot less, you know, it can be shocking firing a shotgun for the first time if you've never done it before. But what I would suggest for a young person is, if you are starting out, I would more lean towards a 20 bore or a 28 bore, or even a 12 bore with light loads, you know. But if you're getting into that, you know, you might as well shoot a 20 bore with heavier loads than a 12 bore with a light load. But anyway, 20 bore or a 28 bore would be better. You know, 28 bore is the next calibre up from a 410. So you're looking at in between a 410 and a 20 bore, so you've got a little bit more to play with. But yeah, 20 bore or 28 is going to be a much better to build the confidence up of somebody who's new to the sport than taking out a 410 and, you know, they're missing and what have you, and it's just, they're just going to get frustrated and, you know, probably end up giving it up. But for somebody who's a more experienced shot, then a 410 can be a serious pest control tool. They're light. The only thing is, the cartridges now are they're quite expensive. They're more expensive than the 12 bore, which if you do a lot with a 410, you know, you're going to feel it in your pocket. I don't do a busting amount. I'll get out a couple of times a year with it and have a walk around, so I don't really use a busting amount of cartridges for it. You know, if I'm out and about and I have 20 shots, you know, if I go for a box of cartridges, and that's about it really. So whereas a 12 bore, I'll fire a lot more. So yeah, it's unfortunate about the car, guys, because I don't know what sort of footage I'd have been able to get you, because the trees are in full leaf at the moment. But I was going to try and go out for a walk around and get you a little shooting video, but sod's law, you know, yesterday, leaving work, yesterday on Friday, leaving work, went to change gear, clutch hit the floor, and that was it, you know. Bloody sod's law on a Friday as well. But that's the way things go sometimes. So as soon as the car's back on the road and it's all good, my next free weekend I will get out and do a bit. So sorry about that, guys, but I don't really want to do too many of these talk videos now. I feel that I've done enough of those. You know, I don't want to jam up my YouTube channel with just me rattling on about different subjects, because sometimes it's easier to show you than to tell you. And I know that a lot of you want to obviously see some like action, you know, from ferreting, lamping, ratting, all that sort of stuff. So I'd rather not jam my YouTube channel up with talks. I'd rather bring you quality rather than quantity. You know, I could rattle on forever about every subject and post them, but I'd end up posting God knows how many videos, and I just don't want to bore everyone. So what I'll do is, guys, I don't know when it's going to be, because at the moment as well, me and my girlfriend are actually looking for a new place to live, so we could be moving. We've applied for somewhere. We're just waiting to hear back, so we could be moving soon, so it might be a while before my next video. If so, I apologise for that. I hope you all bear with me, and I will get you some good videos soon. Cheers for that, guys. Hope you're all well. Feel free to like and subscribe. Much appreciated, guys. Thanks.